Hello, everybody. We're going to have a live here tonight. You're looking at comments. I'm not really posting or commenting too much, taking it easy today. But I want to get through some topics here, and that is USA versus Canada in absolute constitutionalism. And yes, going back again over Joe Biden's live Memorial Day address. And people still, and it's you, me, and so many Canadians who keep going right back to the same institutionalized problem. How did you get here? How did I get there originally? How does everybody come up with these narratives? Well, it's very easy. It's our education system here in Canada. We're institutionalized. Contrary to what every Canadian believes, in America, constitutionally bound. Doesn't matter who they elect. In their two-party system, there are other parties that have formed, but they never break that two-party system generally. Very little influence. That's the Republican system. That's USA. That's constitutional too. And unfortunately for so many Canadians that chime in, they say, oh, Biden's not going to do this. Oh, he can't. He's a liar, da. What you don't understand is there's a very extensive American Constitution that's had a series of amendments, many amendments, that bind all the politicians absolutely federally, all of them. There are stringent rules they all must comply with. This is non-existent in Canada. Rules of governance in America don't exist in any way, shape, or form in Canada. Not even close, not even. It starts with we the people. I've talked about this lots. It starts with supremacy of God. I've talked about that lots too. Canadians, you have no supremacy of God. You have supremacy of the politician. You have divinity of the monarch, which is, again, your politicians. It's been this way, absolute, since 1945. Finished, signed off by King George again. Lots of people telling me, Dave, I can't find anything about King George. Start with Governor Generals. You're going to find lots of history about that. In fact, 1952, there is no more Governor Generals from the UK. Up until 1952, every Governor General in Canada, constitutionally written still to this day, was done by UK exclusively. Since 1952, they are all appointed by Premier and are Canadians. This is the same for Lieutenant Governors of all provinces and territories. Look at your Constitution, read it clearly. It doesn't look anything remotely close in any way, shape, or form to America's Constitution. Beyond that, you get into states. You get into the United States individually themselves. Many of them have an even older Constitution than the United States of America. Even older. 13 of them are older than the United States War of Independence Constitution. 13 of them are older. They've been amended many times as well too. And they're all of those 50 states, most of which are tremendously large volume documents. More than 400, some of the states, more than 400 pages on rules of governance, how to govern. This doesn't exist in Canada, not provincially, not territorially, not whatsoever. Never has. It's constitutionally mandated the premiers do this, but not one has ever in the entire history of Canada ever wanted any kind of rules of governance or how to govern. You, Canadians, don't exist regionally whatsoever. You have zero enshrined civil rights. Zero. You have what the politicians allow you to have. They administer laws, giving and taking away your civil liberties anytime they want. That's not the case in the United States of America, not even close. Every child who goes to school in the United States of America must learn all these details. Canadians, have you ever learned in your entire history the Constitution of Canada? Have you ever learned anything in school about that? No. You sing the national anthem, which is a fabrication, a song that doesn't represent the legality of Canada. Not even close, not in any way, shape, or form. Politicians can remove religion, place religion, even though it's an enforced human right on this earth today, has been enforced worldwide since 1945. Canada gives and takes it away anytime they wish. World illegal. There are other rights and freedoms that the world says you can't mess with in your governance. Otherwise, you're not a country in this world today. Canada does it anyway. Nobody says tiddly boo. The U.S. is waking up rather quickly to what Canada really is. It just took a little bit of disclosure. Hey, did you know sheriff doesn't match your sheriff? This is our definition in Canada of a sheriff. Did you know that Governor General doesn't match yours? Not even close. It's a crown colonial power. Did you know? Did you know? And you go on and on and on. And you just write it in real truth and you provide all the links, all the details. You back up everything you write in real accreditation. And guess what? Very smart people go, oh, wow, you're absolutely right. We can't dispel this. This is reality. And then people talk about Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't write his speeches. None of the politicians in America write the speeches. Read the American Constitution. Politicians are able to campaign, tell you whatever they want, get elected in the United States, but when they hit office, rules of governance and how to govern become absolute. There are many, many checks and balances. This is not the case for Canada. Politicians can lie and campaign on lies and run other candidates down, mudsling, just the same as the United States. The difference is when they get to office in Canada, that's where it all ends. Is that now they're afforded unlimited powers to do whatever they want and wish to the people of Canada. This is not the case in the United States of America. Joe Biden can have all the policy values he likes. He's been around 50 years. When he hits office, he gets armbarred by his Constitution, by all the checks and balances. He has people writing his speeches. He's told what the people want him to say, what's expected of him lawfully. And there are things in the Constitution that hold liability to key positions of office in the United States of America, right through to every 50 state, even on the state level. Biden has to follow it to a letter to the law, literally. In Canada, there's no letter of the law. The politicians are the letter of the law. Their excuse, and I've heard this many times from many of Canadians' politicians, oh, we're way more stable than the United States. Oh, really? Because financially we're not. Socially, economically we're not. Out on world economics, on trade and everything right across the world in value and supply chains, we are not. We only have 1/5 of the country shared with the First Nations, First Peoples of Canada, split somewhat unevenly, but only 1/5 are made available, and the government has even 3% of that portion. People, wake up. It's not the Queen's land. It hasn't been the Queen's land absolutely since the day of her ascension. It was ended by her father the year of her ascension. He died abruptly. King George VI did not set out about writing Canada's Constitution. Canada was to do that themselves. Canada was to do that. That's what he was trying to do. He never set out to write the Constitution. He wrote UK out of Canada. not to write a constitution for us. So just to clarify to a lot of people, that's not what King George was doing. His job was to remove UK from Canada entirely, remove the colonial power, the absolute law of sovereignty reigns supreme, and to follow the UN Charter of 1945, or UK would not have its UNSC power. That's how they got it. This was the mandate. I didn't get this information from the United States of America, even though they fully agree and now they're all preaching about it. I got it 100% from Russia, the Russia Federation. I got it from the top experts of the Federation of Russia, from none other than Vladimir Putin's top United Nations Security Council representatives. That's who shared all this information. That's who brought to my attention 1960 and sent me back to the United States of America, which I did, and I went to all the academic institutions, and guess what happened? You're 100% correct. Russia wasn't lying. And then on to UK, and you know what? I was so fearful. I was so fearful that the UK was in bed with Canada somehow. You know, childhood fears, the fears we have that, oh, UK is in bed. Look at all the immigration. Look what's going on with Hong Kong. Oh, UK is right in bed with it. We're going to get blocked by UK. And know what I'm finding? Not true either. And UK is assisting in the matter too. This is reality, Canadians. This is left out of your narrative. All Canadians don't get any kind of education in this whatsoever. You're programmed, institutionalized from kindergarten right through to grade 12. You don't learn anything about how the world really works. You're told your country is great and wonderful. Shut up, vote every 4 years, keep quiet, don't worry, your politicians love you. They're taking good care of you. Even though Canada declines faster at the worst rate than any other country in the world. It doesn't matter what party you elect. This has been going on through all the parties. Federally, provincially, doesn't matter. Canada is declining worse and worse. Things are getting more expensive. Each incoming generation has it that much harder. This has been the truth since the 50s. Some of you even message me and say, I knew things were changing in the 60s, or I believe it was starting in the 70s. The reality is, since 1952, we've been on a decline. And that slope only increases. The politicians, the autocrats, only get stronger the longer you continue. The longer you don't share, the longer you go, oh no, I don't want to hear that narrative. I've been told Biden's a bad guy, or I've been told the Queen's responsible, everybody else is responsible. It couldn't possibly be me looking inside or me looking at the system of Canada, comparing it to every other country in the world. 205 countries' constitutions, some of which aren't even recognized in the UN, but still, compare the constitutions. Compare how empowered the people are, regardless of war ravages or what they've been exposed to by other foreign interests and infighting that spanned antiquity. Look at it for what it is. Canada's a serious problem. It's not getting any better. It's only getting worse. You all know it's true. It only gets harder. And you keep looking outward at everybody else instead of inward, exactly where the problem is. You're a country without a soul. The American Constitution, you don't have to accept it as gospel. The fact of the matter is, USA is the most successful free nation in the world today. That's a fact. Economically, militarily, everything. In prosperity, in liberties and rights and freedoms. Rights and freedoms, Canadians, that you can't even fight for. Rights and freedoms that 1 year you got it with this government, next year it's gone with the other one. They give this group a few, take away a vast amount from the other group. Then you flip, you elect somebody else who gives you a couple of yours back that they promised, but takes a whole pile from another group. Dividing. Nothing ever gets rectified. Canada never goes into prosperity, only decline. Economically, this is 100% provable. in a region of vast resource and wealth and such a tremendous small population. We have way more. We have way more than many states of the United States, but when you look at those states, they're tremendously more successful than anywhere in Canada. Regardless of centralization, equalization, all of it. Canada's a broken system, constitutionally broken. The world is woken up. The Allies are completely awake to what's going on in Canada. It's going to only continue. I'm going to keep working at that steady. And my fruits of my labor continue to grow better and better. By next week, I'm on one heck of a world stage to talk about Canada. And many want to hear about it. Many are ready. Joe Biden's speech, not by Joe Biden, mandated, yes, through administration and speechwriters, through checks and balances. This is we, the people. This is what Joe Biden has to do. Not what he campaigned on or what he mudslings for Donald Trump and the rest and back and forth with each of them. The reality is they have rules of governance, how to govern. We can learn a tremendous amount from the United States. They know how to fight for liberties. They understand erosions of Constitution. They understand attacks against the Constitution. And the people generally always win, and they fight for their principles. Canada, the politicians are divine, supreme. There is no we the people. There's no First Nations people whatsoever. For decades and decades and decades, we only increase our population and we don't even settle out the bulk of Canada. A tremendous country that holds prosperity for all. But yet, politicians don't want to do that. They want to complete a genocide. They want to erode Canadians, enslave Canadians for the sheer power and authority of the few. It's in Joe Biden's speech. You'll hear the monarchy listed. It's there. That's reality. Through the autocracy and the monarchy, one sentence of it, but that is Canada. That is us. A lot of people didn't focus on it, but that is where we're going. That's what's coming to a head. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. Tomorrow, the biggest thing we're going to do is we're going to have a live here for all of you on the residential schools, the 215 found children's bodies buried, victims of murder of the residential school system. The real story, not propagated baloney. We're going to hear from a direct descendant of a survivor who's alive today of the residential school system. They will introduce themselves as Indian, Treaty Indian. I'll let them do that. It's First Nations real. You're going to all see that live tomorrow night. You can look forward to that. We're going to go into a tremendous amount. No more blaming Queen. No more blaming Joe Biden. No more blaming nothing. Let's start addressing things in Canada as they really are, because that's not the United States. It's not the rest of the world. It's not Africa. This is Canada. We have to stop trying to find other narratives that have no basis in the problems of Canada today. And you're going to get the real, full story from an actual Treaty Indian, as they wish to be called. Thank you. Look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Bye now.